Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. Hope you are well. It's this wonderful weekend before all of the fall holidays start happening, Halloween and Veterans Day and Thanksgiving and then Black Friday. It's not a holiday, but you know. And so anyway, I just love this weekend because you don't really have to do anything this week and you can kind of do the stuff that you really want to do, like crafting. And that's what we're doing today. We're crafting. And what I wanted to point out is that one of the things that I came across when I was first learning to make cards was about card sizes. There are, believe it or not, like 10 different size cards and different designations for cards. And they each have their own sort of merits. For me, I generally will make one of two size cards, a 5x7 card, and this is what's called an A2 size card. This is very, very popular in card making circles. How's that? Okay. So listen, we're going to put together these really fun, what I call quick cut cards. I have a ton of these. And what's really fun is that even though they're quick cut, you're not going to be spending a whole lot of time on them because it really is just two pieces. They really can be really fabulous, whether the way they're cut out or perhaps in what you're using for materials. In this case, it's like a real polka dotty thing. I think that's really fun. So listen, stay with me. We're going to put these together and talk a little bit more about card sizes. Okay, so today we're putting together these quick cut cards that are part of Cricut Access, which if you're a Cricut Access member, that means that they're free to you. I'm going to give you the design space file that will where you can, as long as you have design space or you navigate to design space, you can open up the file and play with it and look at it and, you know, manipulate it all you'd like until you go to cut it. If you're not an Access customer, you would have to pay for the image then. But if you are an Access customer, it's free. I definitely would encourage you to look at that. And I'm going to give you the file that has several, I think maybe four. Here's one that I haven't really prepared all together, but what's great about these cards. Do I have this on? I have it upside down. What's great about these cards is it's two pieces. It's the front overlay piece, you see, that's cut out on the machine, and it's the full size card. And then you have the insert in the back, and this gets glued to the back here, right? And use your precision tip glue, and you put that inside back in there, and that's it. Two cuts and you're done. You could also, if you wanted to, you could use a pen and write out a message here. I've done that with these cards before and personalized them. I just haven't done that for this one. I'll show you another project coming up that will highlight that. There's another one that has the black insert. Now, this one here, I didn't think too long and hard about. I saw these circles and I thought, oh, I love it, right? And I cut it out, put this on there. And then when I turned it over, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot that this was double-sided paper. So this is an example of when you don't want to use double-sided paper because you end up with this weird inside of your paper. Let's talk about size real quick, okay? This is a 5x7 card. It's also known as an A7. An A7 card, 5x7. So it's either 5 across and 7 tall, right? 5 inches wide and 7 inches tall. Or sometimes it's this way where it's 7 across and 5 down. 5 high, 7 wide. But one thing you have to think about when you're making these cards is that you're going to be cutting these out. There's two pieces. you obviously got this piece, and this is the actual, about the actual same size as 5x7. It's slightly smaller so that you don't have a lot of overlap. But when you're establishing this size, or any size really, you need to make sure you account for the back of the card, right? So in this case, when you're putting together the card, it becomes, you have to make it 10 inches tall, right, by 7 across. You can use, you know, I can show you that. This is a little slightly smaller than 7, but I don't know if you can see that, but and then there's your 10. Okay, it cuts out just like that, and then it has the score line, and then you can fold it, and you have a 5x7. The next popular, and there are a lot of different size cards, you know, remember the old days when you'd have an invitation and then there'd be a reply card and all of that stuff. I think that's where this stuff is derived from. But there's also the two that have sort of maintained or have been maintained in crafting and paper crafting in particular are the 5x7 or the A7, and then the A2. The A2 is smaller. Just gonna show you, hold it up so you can see it is smaller, slightly smaller. Now, here's what I like about this is that when you go to Michael's or Joann's or any of the craft stores, AC Moore, whatever, you can buy pre-made envelopes, 5x7 or A7 envelopes, or you can buy what's called A2 envelopes. They're just ever so slightly bigger than this size card. What I like about an A2 card is that I can fit 2 onto one 12x12 sheet of paper, and thus it becomes very economical for you to make more than one. I don't know about you, but I always make more than one. As you can see here, I always make at least 2 of a card, just so that I can kind of figure it out first and then have one that I can give away or send. So so that I like the fact that an A2 will fit onto one 12x12 sheet of paper, which is the standard size. It will also, one will fit onto an 8.5x11, which is useful to know too. And just so you can see, this is the sizing for an A2 when it's opened entirely. You know, it's 8.5 by 5.5. 8.5 by 5.5, slightly different than a 5x7, which really is a 10x7 when you're cutting it out, right? So those are the two, I would say, the most popular size cards. Other than that, you know, you may need to, like if you're like square cards or oversized cards, you may need to create your own envelope for those, which sometimes these, you know, these kinds of box cards and what have you, they're better, it's better to just put them in their own envelope, and when you buy them or when you not download them, when you grab them off of Cricut Access, they often will come with their own envelope as well. So that's something to keep in mind. So there is the A7 card or 5x7, which you actually are cutting out of 10x7, that's the main piece, or the A2 card, which is it ends up being 4.5 by 5.5, I think, around there, right around there. And then to cut it out, it's 8.5 by 5.5, right? So when you fold it, it then becomes 4.25, really, 4.25 by 5.5. So those are those two cards. Hey, wasn't that fun? Card making is so much fun. I know everybody likes vinyl and iron-on, and I like that stuff too. But for me, I've always been a card lover, and I'd love to just give them to people. And so it brings me great joy to show you all of these cards. And I wanted you to just know that all of the cards that I showed you today, the A2 and the 5x7 card, and even the ones from the other day, the Creepy Critters, they all come from something called Cricut Access. Cricut Access is a subscription service It's a subscription, image subscription. That's what it's called, an image subscription service that is offered through Cricut. It's a monthly charge that you sign up for, and you can sign up by the month, you can sign up by the year. It's up to you entirely. But there are benefits in addition to having, I forget now, I think they have over 100,000 individual images that you can choose from. It's a lot of images, let me tell you. It's so overwhelming, so many images, and a lot of really new stuff. And then you've got the back catalog. I mean, it's just really rich. It's like a treasure trove. And it's worth going through and looking at all of the older images. These are not terribly old, but they're not brandy new either. So I like to cull the backlog, or what do you call that? What do you call it when you have the backlog? I don't know. You cull their library, right? And I look at Cricut Access as like a library. It has a lot of stuff, old and new, and I like to piece things together and make my own things. So, hey, anyway, that's Cricut Access. You can find all about it on Cricut.com. In addition to the images, you will receive percentages off on orders when you buy through Cricut.com website. And that is super helpful. It really does save money on materials. And then you can combine it with like my discount. I have a discount, Miss Rita 4 is the current one. And with the link, and when you're a Cricut Access member, you save like 10% off and you get free shipping, and then you save an additional 10% off with my codes. You can stack them. Okay, so it's really well worth looking into, and I'm sure, you know, with the holidays coming, they might have some Access exclusive sales. They've done that in the past, so I can't imagine that they wouldn't do that coming up. And you know, it's almost November, which is time for sales and stuff, so please have a look at Cricut Access. Well, that's all I've got today. My name is Rita. This is my channel, Miss Rita to the Rescue. I am so glad that you joined me today, and I hope that you can join me for all of my future videos. I like to go over these wonderful Cricut projects, and we've got so many things planned. I mean, you should see my calendar. It's kind of crazy. So I really would encourage you to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel and to follow me on Facebook. I also have a giveaway that I do every month. This month, we're giving away a Cricut Mini, which is like this really cute, like little tiny iron. It's so cute. I don't have mine with me. I'm gonna have to get it out, but we're giving away 5 of these mini machines, and also a package of the brand new Infusible Ink transfer sheets. So you definitely want to be part of this giveaway. So go ahead and enter. The information is in the bottom of the screen or the description of this video. So please enter and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you won't miss a thing. Thanks so much for coming today. Have a great day.